Hello guys, welcome to another video. First of all, I say that this story doesn't belong to me, so if you read the full story for yourself, you can go down in the description to find a link to the original post and read the full story for yourself. That being said, let's get into the video. Legacy, Part 20 and Chapter 20. In Between Tales. The old Hokage made his way towards the Kage box and thought that Naruto to think he was able to remove the cage bird seal without killing the host. You would be so proud, Minato. He has already surpassed you in seals. Everything alright, Hokage Tono? The Raikage asked. Yes, that Naruto always gives me headaches, the Hokage said, sighing. Now that Hinata revealed that Naruto is able to remove the cage bird seal, the Hyuga will have a field day, especially the main house, since they tend treated the branch house like slaves. If the branch house managed to get rid of the seals, they would surely rebel against the main house, and since they outnumbered them almost 5-1, it would be pretty for the petty for the main house. The in Hinata got off well and only got thrown out of the clan instead of being sent to the branch side of the family. Indeed, to be that skilled with seals at such a young age, he always honors the Uzumaki. Really honors the Uzumaki clan. The Raikage said, "Yes, he will be a major threat in the future if he continues like this. What to do?" The Raikage muttering thought. The Raikage, as a Kage sneered, seethed his teeth and cursed the damn blood in his thoughts. That rat is getting too dangerous to think he managed to hold me long enough for the Anbu to arrive. Even more is his work with seals. He might be able to remove the car seal, and I can't allow that. I will make sure he dies today. Orochimaru thought, you didn't even see the trap of Icebreaker Raikage. The Hokage said, making the Raikage narrow his eyes. Yes, I know he's the QB's Jinchuriki. The Raikage said, much to the shock of the old Hokage. How do you know? The Hokage asked, narrowing his eyes at the Raikage and is studying him. You forgot I have the Nivi Jinchuriki competing. My brother, the Hachibi Jinchuriki, is their joint sensei. They all met before the beginning of the exam. The Raikage said, chuckling. But I wonder how much control he has over the beast. The Raikage said, eyeing the Hokage. Who knows? I never sensed him training with his chakra, so I wouldn't know. The Hokage replied, he's your Jinchuriki and you don't know? The Raikage asked in a disbelief. Like I told you, Naruto is very secretive and secretive and special. I know he's been training himself since he was 5 years old, the Hokage said lightly, chuckling. Did you know that when your father arranged the Hyuga kidnapping, Naruto was the one that killed the kidnapper and rescued the Yaris? The Hokage said, and chuckling even more when everyone stared at the Hokage thinking he was crazy. You surely must be joking. How can a 6-year-old kill a Shonin? True, he wasn't an elite Jonin, but still a 6-year-old that didn't even enter the academy. The only thing I can think of was the QB helped him. The Raikage said, I assure you, I am not joking, Raikage. When I arrived at the scene, Naruto was holding Hinata and the kidnapper had a kunai in his chest. The Hokage explained and the Raikage seethed his teeth. Then the QB is the only explanation, the Raikage said, crossing his arms. I doubt it, the Hokage said, and everyone focused on him. When I arrived at the scene, There wasn't any trace of the Kyuubi's chakra being used. I didn't see the battlefield, but from what he told me, Naruto tricked him with a clone and finished him when he got the opportunity. The Hokage explained, "Looks like you have been hiding a diamond." The Kazekage said if he was that skilled at such a young age, why is he still a Kenin? The Kazekage said, "You all know how Jinchurikis are treated, right?" The Hokage said, and everyone nodded. Everyone seemed to be interested in the young blonde. He chooses to hide his strength. He decided to take the full academic course so he would have time to train himself and be able to protect himself and anyone he cares about. The Hokage finished explaining description, the description, the true shinobi way. The Kazekage said, you know something, Raikage? The Hokage said, chuckling. What? The Raikage asked. Your village tend to create some of our best couples. You kidnapped Uzumaki Kushina and she was rescued by Namikaze Minato and they later became a couple. A few years ago you kidnapped Hinata and Naruto rescued her. Now they are boyfriend and girlfriend and are living together. The Hokage said, laughing. Are you saying you have another yellow flash and red dead in the making? The Raikage asked. The Yondome Hokage was something of a rival in terms of speed to the Raikage. The Yondome was the only man to ever dodge a frontal attack from the Raikage while using his focused lighting armor. The Yondome's wife and Naruto's mother was Uzumaki Kushina. In truth, she was Senju Kushina, but no one knew. Also known in the Bingo book as Red Death due to her blonder blood red hair. She was a powerful Konoichi and extremely talented in Senjutsu, Genju, Sealing Jutsu and Kenjutsu. I have faith in them. Every generation is supposed to surpass the previous. The Hokage wisely said, I have been wondering something. Hokage Tono, wasn't Hyuga Hinata supposed to be the heiress? Why did she have the cage bird sealed? And why is she living with the blonde brat if she is a Hyuga? The Raikage said, simply enough, Hinata's father thought she was weak and disowned her from the clan and placed the seal on her. Then she went to live with Naruto and things went on from there. The Hokages explained, weak? She just defeated the so-called Hyuga protege, the Kazekage said. What can I say? Naruto has a way to encourage people and I bet he has been training with her since she was exiled. The Hokage explained, I look forward to seeing his match against the last Uchiha. The Raikage said, I will be it will be an interesting match. The Hokage said, I wonder if he will reveal his Sharingan. The Hokage thought, now let's continue watching the matches. It looks like it's the second match is about to start. The Hokage said and everyone turned to the arena with the crowd. Fu and Taki, Fu from Taki and Nii Yuito for Kumo from Kumo. Please come to the arena to begin your match. Hayate called out from the arena. Good luck, Fu Yuito. Naruto said to both of them as they made their way towards the arena. Who do you think will win? Hinata asked. Naruto brought his right hand to his chin in a thinking pose. I don't really know what they can do, so it's hard for me to say. Naruto started. If they use their partners, then who would win if she has enough control? Otherwise, she can't really say because I don't know their individual skills. Naruto explained. Hey, Kuronai Sensei, you fought with Fu against those Oto ni Jonin. when we went to Turkey, right? Hinata asked. Yes, why do you ask? Kuronai asked. She was paying particular attention to their conversation since she was watching both Jinjuriki made their way towards the middle of the arena. We were trying to find out who will win since she will fight me next. What can you tell me about who? Hinata asked. Kuronai thought before beginning. Well, for starters, she didn't need to use the Biju's chakra. Her taijutsu was nothing special. I would put it around the low tuning level. However, her ninjutsu is far better. She was primarily a water user, but she had a few secrets and bug techniques. The Kuronai explained. Hey, Naruto said and got their attention. I remember what Kabuto said about Yuyuto during the first days of the Chunin exam. He said she was good at both taijutsu and ninjutsu, so I would assume around mid Chunin level on both. Naruto said nothing you can't handle. Naruto said, and she nodded and looked to the arena. You sure have a lot of faith in her, Asuma said, and he joined the conversation since his curiosity was piqued when they began talking. Of course, I have faith in my girlfriend, Naruto said, grinning, and Asuma mumbled something about lucky blonde brats. Did you see what she did to Neji? She asked almost rhetorically. Rhetorically. Everyone saw Neji getting his ass kicked by the supposed shy former heiress of the Hyuga clan. Yes, I saw. Good job. I will be good to that arrogant ass, Asuma said, chuckling. Though I never expected her to win, he said honestly. Fa- uh, don't you have faith in my teachings? Kurenai asked in a dangerous voice. Of course not. Kurenai-chan, Asuma quickly replied, waving his hands, trying to dismiss the situation before she casted a genjutsu on him. Cough, wiped, wiped, cough. Naruto and Naruto discreetly said and wiped. Discreetly said, and Asuma narrowed his eye. But, oh. And said, and Asuma narrowed his eyes at the blonde. What was that, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked in a very sweet tones. Nothing, Hinata-chan, Naruto quickly said, and Asuma slightly laughed. Troublesome woman, Shikamaru said. Arena. Both competitors ready? Hayate asked. Hi. Both replied. Hajime. Hayate said and jumped out of their way. He knew they were both Jinjurikis and he didn't want to get caught in the middle of them. Shall we keep them out of the fight? Fu asked. Yuito thought for a while. Most of Yuito's techniques rely on her using her Biju's chakra. Not that she was weak without her cat, but the fact she trained primarily in her Biju, if removed, it would cripple her ninjutsu. How about we keep it to two tails max? Yugito asked. Sounds good. Fu replied and took a kunai and got in her stance as Yugito pulled her sword from her back. Yugito quickly ran forward and tried a horizontal slash. Fu quickly ducked and rolled to the side. She quickly got up and tried to kick Yugito in the chest. Yugito, however, managed to completely blind the top, bind the top of her body backwards and bend the top of part of her body at almost to a 90-degree angle, avoiding the kick as it passed safely above her. The crowd. Naruto whistled when Yugito bent like that. That kind of flexibility isn't possible for human. Even if she is a shinobi, bending at such a angle should have broken her spine. That's the Nevis effect. Her her host have an extremely high flexibility due to the fact me being a cat. Kurama explained to Naruto. How come I have nothing for useful from you? Naruto asked. Ungrateful brat, you have a high rege- regeneration and negative emotion sensing ability. Kurama explained that's good and all, but that isn't practically effective in combat. Naruto replied, "What do you mean isn't useful? Your sensory ability is cop with your coupled with your rain gun makes it impossible for anyone to hide from you." Kurama explained, for someone who is so smart, he sometimes would still be a dumb ass. Maybe all of that pretending during the academy days affected him. Never mind though. And Naruto said, and Kuramaso dropped. Arena, Fu and Yugito exchanged punches, kicks, and strikes for a few minutes. Even though the fight came tied, it seemed that Yugito clearly had the advantage in Taijutsu. Her flexibility made it very difficult for Fu to hit her, even more since Yugito was using a sword. Cloud style, flame slash. Yugito said and slashed horizontally towards Fu. Yugito's sword was enveloped with fire, and as such, it created a fire ring around Fu, preventing her from leaving the arena. Water release, a wild water wave, who said, and gathered water in her mouth. She quickly grabs the water out of her mouth and quickly put out the flames. She is a water user. She will have an advantage in ninjutsu, but I seem to have an edge on taijutsu. Yugito thought as she watched Fu perform a low-level fuin jutsu to put out fire. Kite, a great fireball jutsu, Yugito said, and unleashed a hot fireball towards Fu, noticing it was a fireball and not a fire stream. Quickly jumped to the right to dodge the fireball. Yugito quickly approached next to her and said, "Cloud style, front slash." Yugito made a very fast horizontal slash whose head separated clearly from her shoulders. Yugito didn't think she could have defeated this easy. She could have been defeated this easily. Her suspicion was true when Fu turned into a piece of rock, showing Fu's performed a cow substitution. Water bullet, who said shot a couple of compressed water bullets from her mouth. Yugito turned just in time to see Fu perform the jutsu in a show of speed. Yugito used her sword and slashed through every single bullet, taking no damage from it. Kage box looks like this year's Genins are talented, the Hokage commented. Very true. Using elemental jutsu is only trained after becoming a chunin. The Kazekage said, "What did you expect from Jinchurikis?" The Raikage asked rhetorically before continuing. Even without using their Bijutsu chakra, they develop high chakra reserves, so they tend to go for ninjutsu very early. The Raikage commented, "True." The Hokage replied, "By the way, after seeing the Hyuga match, I firmly recommend Hyuga Hinata for tuning." She remained calm even though her opponent was taunting her, and she displayed a high level of taijutsu. The Hokage explained. Agreed, both the Kazekage and the Raikage said. The crowd, as expected, Yu-Gi-Oh has the advantage in taijutsu, but they seem to be tied in ninjutsu. If this continues, Yu2 will win. Naruto says, I have a better taijutsu than Yugito, and I mainly use Shuinjutsu for it. So if Yugito wins, I have the advantage. Hinata thought, looks like they are about to take it up a notch, Naruto said, and they turned their face to the arena. Arena, shall we bring our partners into the battle? Who asked, and Yugito Arch eagerly nodded. She was anxious to show everyone her true power. Bring it on, Yugito replied. Let's go, Nibi. Yugito said, right, Kitten. Nibi replied, let's show them, Jome, who said, all right. Jome replied, pumping something into the air, not really sure if it was a wing or an arm. Everyone in the crowd watching in amazement as red chakra seemed to envelop both competitors. The red chakra radiated from both her stomach and whispered around them before stopping. When it stopped, both were fully enclosed in a semi-transparent red cloak. A red cloak with two tail swirlings on their backs. With the crowd, what's happening? Sakura asked. She had never seen someone being enveloped in a chakra. In fact, she had never even heard of red chakra for that matter. So what was she seeing was completely unknown. That is what is called the chakra, the Jinchuriki cloak. Naruto explained. What? Sakura asked, not really understanding. Do you know what a biju is? Asuma asked. You mean like the QB? Sakura asked. Yes, there are 9 biju starting from the Ichibi and ending in the QB. Two people that have a biju sealed inside them are called Shinjurikis, and when they use their biju's power, that's what happens. Asuma explained, pointing towards the arena. Wow, Sakura said, um, not astounded. But Sakura started, and everyone turned to her. I thought that the Yandere killed the Kyuubi, but you can kill the Biju, which means that someone in our village has the Kyuubi inside of him. Sakura said, you are smarter than you look, Naruto said, chuckling. Shut up, Naruto Baka, Sakura screeched. Asuma sensei, who is our Jinjuriki? Sakura asked, and Naruto looked at Asuma to see if he was going to reveal it to her. And everything about the kiwi is a secret. Only Chunins and above know about it. Asuma explained, and Naruto sighed in relief. He didn't want to have to explain everything to the crazy banshee. Knowing her, she would probably want Naruto to release the cubit and to give it to Sasuke. Some secret, Naruto thought, not realizing he said it out loud. What do you mean, Naruto Baka? Do you know him? Sakura asked, but if it was but it was more a demand. Keep it down, Sakura, and yes, I do know him. Know who he is. Naruto replied. Now, how can a Baka like you know? Sakura smugly said. Tail beast ball up here. Shabe Bijutama upper ass right here, Kurama said, and Naruto chuckled in his mind. Can't do a Bijutama in here, but I can do a Rasengan. Naruto replied, why do you want me to tell you? Naruto asked, I want to know who he is so he can give it to Sasuke-kun, Sakura said, and everyone stared at her. Is she crazy? Asuma asked, thought. I need to talk to Kakashi to see if he sends her to a few sessions with Inochi, Inoichi. Kuronai thought that level of obsession is going to be her downfall sometime. Damn, that is some dead, de- degraded fangirl. Kurama said, how do you know about fangirls? Naruto asked curiously. Let's just say I was very popular when I was a kid. Kurama said, slightly embarrassed. Don't tell me you were chased by female foxes. Naruto Naruto asks in incredulously. Yeah, Kurama replied, remembering his dark days. I'm really sleepy, that's why I'm please let me. Sorry about it. Really, I'm really sorry. Looks like every race has a fangirls. Naruto said, laughing. It's not a, it's not a I it, it's a him. It's not a it, it's a him. Naruto explained, how do you know, Baka? Sakura screeched once again. Hinata approached her and gave her a Jugen strike to her throat, disabling her voice. You are too loud, Sakura, Hinata said, and Sakura tried to curse her, but no sound came from her mouth, even though no one said anything, but they were all happy that Sakura was silent for once. That Naruto seemed to know a lot about Biju. He said that there were only 5 people that could open the gates, and Hinata said that 3 of them were in the tower arena. If Fu is a Jinchuriki and can open the gates, it stands to reason that Naruto is a Kyuubi's Jinchuriki. That would explain his talent troublesome forms. Shikamaru thought as he overheard the entire conversation. If you stop screaming, I will open your chakra point, Hinata said, and Sakura nodded sadly. Naruto, Sakura said calmly while looking at Hinata. She nodded, and Sakura continued, how do you know about the Kyuubi? Kyuubi is a he. She asked. I have read a lot about them, and even though they aren't human, they aren't things. For instance, Yuto has Navy Seal inside of her. She's a cat. The Biju have their own personality, like every other animal out there. Naruto explained, and Sakura nodded. No, Shikamaru Sakura, sorry. So Sakura began, will you tell me who the Jinchuriki is? She asked in a very sweet voice, trying to know who he is. Why do you want to know so badly? Naruto asked. Oh, come on, Naruto, I want to know too. Ino said. Everyone stared at the blonde, wondering if she was going to tell them who he was. The rookies were all oblivious about the Jinchuriki's identity, but among all of them there were a few that knew. The Jonins, of course, Hinata and Shino, and the Sand team. Are you sure you want to tell them? Hinata asked. Yes, I do. They will find out eventually. Might as well tell them now and get this over with. Naruto said, and everyone turned to him. Fine, I will tell you who he is, Naruto said, and everyone almost had stars in their eyes. First, I will say that he is our classmate from the academy, Naruto said, and everyone was shocked. Naruto chuckled and continued. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, he said, and immediately silence followed his proclamation. Yeah, right, the dead last has the most powerful Biju sealed inside of him, Kiva said, and everyone snapped from their stupor and laughed. You want me to show you my version 1 cloak? Naruto asked. They all stopped laughing. Are you sure? Kiba asked. Are you serious? Kiba asked. Naruto summoned the Kyuubi's chakra and immediately went to his version cloak with 2 tails as well. His eyes were blood red with vertical slits, his whiskers were more pronounced and his fangs grew bigger. Around his body the same semi-transparent blood red cloak with 2 tails swirling behind. Naruto replied with his voice deepened than his usual due to the Kyuubi's chakra. Believe me now, he said, and they all nodded, slightly scared of him if for his new appearance and voice. Now that you know, what are you going to do? He asked. Nothing, Kiba, I said. You don't think I am a monster? Naruto asked. Naruto didn't really care what they thought. As long as he had the people that cared for him, while he was happy. Of course not. I know the difference between kunai and the scroll. Kiva said, Thanks, maybe you should tell that to the villagers. Naruto said, sighing as he focused on the fight that was going on in the arena. The arena was almost totally destroyed from the battle between the two Jinchurikis. The arena was filled with water, and yet the earth was scorched with Yugito's flames. Both of them were showing symptoms of fa- uh, fa- fatal fatty FATIGU. Even though they had plenty of chakra, they didn't have the stamina to keep up. A great fireball jutsu. Great blue fireball jutsu. Yugito called out to send a huge blue fire towards Fu. The fireball was empowered by the key Nibi's chakra, giving a blue color and almost triple the power. The waterfall vortex. Who called out, and water from the ground rose in front of her and formed a vortex of sort. The water immediately blast from the vortex and clashed with the fireball. The clash produced a big steam cloud that covered most of the arena. Took this opportunity and cancelled Nibi's chakra to channeled Nibi's chakra to her nails, increasing the length and resistance resistance of them. As the steam cloud disappeared, she quickly dashed towards Fu. Fu didn't expect Yui to come at her so soon and wasn't prepared for her slash with her fingernails. Fu received a full brunt of the force of the slash from both hand and her chest and the right leg. She jumped back and channeled, clutched her chest. Her mesh armor managed to absorb most of the damage, but it still managed to cut her pretty deep. Fu fortunately, with the help of Jome's chakra in her chest and chest area, and the wound immediately started to heal. A few seconds later, there wasn't evidence of anything had ever happened. Fu used Jome's chakra and uh, focused to her back. From her back emerged two wings, and Fu started to lift off from the ground and flew in the air a few meters above the ground. Fu continued to dodge multiple fireballs sent by Yugito as she prepared her bugs to attack. Yugito quickly ran up the wall in the arena in all fours, much like a cat. Yugito pronounced herself from the wall, propelled herself from the wall and tackled Fu while in the air. Yugito pinned Fu's legs and arms so she couldn't escape and stood above her as they plummeted towards the earth. To the earth, Yugito forced chakra to her legs, and just as they were about to clash, Yugito jumped up and sending Fu to the ground even harder. Boom! The arena ground shook from the impact, and the cloud of dust emerged. Yugita's cloak vanished, and she was breathing a bit heavily. Nothing that a bit of a rest wouldn't solve, but the dust started to clear to show Fu completely knocked out. Yugita Hayate approached Fu and, noticing she was unconscious, called the medic. Winner by knockout, Ni Yugito, Hayate said, and the crowd erupted in cheers. After all, the civilians can only watch it during his fight, Genin's fight. Only watch Genin's fight, otherwise they wouldn't be able to keep up with the battle, and a battle like this is rare. Obviously, civilians cannot with goddamn handle the speed of Jonins or Chunins. That's my girl, the Kage walks. That's my girl, the Raikage said. proud that Yugito had won. Yugito was an orphan since her parents died when Hachibi was accidentally unsealed, so that Raikage took her in and raised her like his own daughter. They both fought very well and both seem to have good control over their power. I recommend both for tuning. Kazekage said, indeed, the Hokage agreed with the Kage, with both Kage. Congrats, Shibito, you Naruto said, giving her a thumbs up. Thank you. It was a hard fight. Yubito replied. I sense the Kyuubi's chakra from down there. What were you doing? What were you doing? She asked. She is just showing my friends my cloak. Naruto said like it was nothing. It will take a while for them to get used to me being the Jinchuriki, but I think they will warm up to me. And he said as he looked at the smiling faces of his friends and surprisingly enough Sakura too. You told them you are a Jinchuriki? She asked, not believing her ears. Of course, I told them during the match as I explained them you explained them to explained them your true type cloak. Naruto exclaimed. Why do you ask? He asked. Because you know very well how we are treated, and from where you publicly front that much that you are a Jinjuki is rather strange. Shibito said, we does the same, but I have people that care about me knowing what I am. Their opinion is the only thing that matters to me. The other I can just shrug them off, and if they try anything, they end up in the hospital with broken bones. Naruto said, and Yugito Damlin nodded. Nara Shikamaru and Saabuko no Tamari, please make your way towards the arena. Hayate called out, and the full goddamn story went as canon. That lazy ass, said face palming. What did you expect from Shikamaru? Naruto said, if you want to watch the fight, then just go to YouTube and search Tamari versus Shikamaru tuning fight and you'll find it. What did you expect from Shikamaru? Naruto said, I guess, replied, because it would be too troublesome to explain. Naruto said, grinning and a few snickered. If Shikamaru doesn't arrive, he is going to be disqualified. If Sasuke doesn't arrive, he is going to be disqualified. Naruto said, I thought I took care of Kakashi's bad habits. Naruto said out loud, Kage box. That was anticlimactic, the Hokage said, and he watched Shikamaru give up. Yes, but he displayed a very good tactical mind, as expected from a Nara, the Raikage thought. The Kazekage remained silent. Do you agree that he should be a Chunin? The Hokage said, and they both nodded. The Chunins are leaders and display very good planning and remain calm, even though he probably knew he wouldn't win. The Raikage said, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, please get back, make your way towards the arena. Hayate called out, looks like the Uchiha is an Osho. What a shame, the Raikage said. Yeah, looks like he will be disqualified, the Hokage said, and getting ready to get up and disqualify him when the Kazekage interrupted him. Please wait, Hokage Dono, I wish to see the Uchiha fight that Uzumaki. Let's continue with the rest of the match until he arrives, the Kazekage said. Do you realize that if he isn't capable of responding expecting appointments, then he isn't tuning material, the Hokage said. If I understand correctly, Hatake Kakashi is as the Hatake Kakashi as the king of for has a knack of arriving hours late to any appointment, and he is an elite jonin, the Kazekage strongly said. The Hokage knew that the Kazekage had a point, and there was nothing he could do to agree. As you wish, but if he isn't here when is his time, then he will be disqualified. The Hokage said, "Of course." The Kazekage replied. The Hokage turned to his bodyguard and went to went to Hayate and explained the situation. As Uchiha Sasuke hasn't yet showed up, he will be posed with a match post prosecutor will proceed. We will proceed with the matches. Hayate says Sabuko no Gara and Sabuko no Kankaro. Please proceed to the arena. Hayate called out, Proctor, I forfeit it. Kankaro yelled from the balcony, okay, win by forfeit. Sabuko no Gara. Hayate said, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, please make your way to the arena. Hayate called out. That was some time of Uchiha gained. The Raikage said, chuckling. Oh, then in the arena, the wind started to glide and the leaves started spinning. Everyone watched the scene unfold. A few seconds later, Uchiha Sasuke appeared with Hatake Kakashi while leaves Shishuin. I hope we aren't late, Kakashi said while sheepishly rubbing the back of his head. You arrived just in time, Hayate said. Name? He asked. Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke replied in his almighty tone. Naruto was laughing at the balcony towards the arena when Sasuke. Naruto was leaving the balcony towards the arena when Sasuke called out, Naruto! Sakura called out, Sakura called out, Naruto. She called, getting his attention. Please don't hurt him too much. She replied. Naruto never in a million years expected her to say something like that to him. And don't worry, I wouldn't use the QVs if that's what you are. QV's power, if that's what you are saying. I prefer using my own power, he replied, but the worried face which she had didn't change. I wouldn't kill him, relax. He said that he let out a breath she didn't even know she was holding. She let out a breath that she didn't even know she was holding. Arena. I was getting the impression you wouldn't come, Sasuke, Naruto said while approaching the tree in the arena. Why wouldn't I come? I am only fighting you, Sasuke said. I see your attitude hasn't changed, Naruto replied and turned towards Kakashi. I hope you didn't tell him about my bloodline, Naruto said and Sasuke scoffed. Scrawled. Naruto, don't worry. The only thing I told him is that he knows your bloodline as well as he knows his own. Kakashi said, "Ha! The wordplay." Naruto said, chuckling, and got a confused face from Sasuke. You will know soon enough, he said, and Kakashi left the arena. Uzumaki Naruto versus Sasuke Uchiha. Ready? Hayate called out. Both nodded. Start. That's all for this part. If you want to be notified for future parts, then the best way is the subscribing. I hope to see you in the next. Oh yeah, the next part is going to be the fight between Sasuke and Naruto, and it is going to be a really good fight. So if you want to be notified for that, the best way is the subscribing. And sorry, I have been goddamn missing few words and repeating because I'm really goddamn sleepy. It's almost 4 a.m. and I am recording these videos for a long goddamn time. That's why. Sorry if it disturbs you or makes you if it annoys you. I hope to see you, but I still hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.